Alright, so I've just put disclosing agent on my patient A, and I'm just having her rinse her mouth real quick. Okay. Perfect. Alright, smile. Okay. So I'm just gonna use one hand to check. Alright, wait till. So this is her mouth. Alright. So now I'm just gonna record your plaque index real quick. Oh yeah, you have all your wisdom teeth. Can you tilt your jaw down? Thank you. Okay, I like your upper teeth now. Okay, can you tilt your head up to the sky? Do you have your phone? Can I use the calculator real quick? Thank you. Okay. So I have a score of 36%, which is high, and I know that you had coffee and stuff before you came over. But the normal range that you want to be in is about like 10 to 15. So we're gonna work on that. But we'll give you some recommendations and get you going on how to prevent that in the future. So I'll just take that off for you. Put that away. Alright. So I have an adult patient, 23 years old. So we did her Canberra, and she is at moderate risk. She has number 9 score. So we're just going to go off of this to give her nutritional counseling on her caries risk. So for liquid food items and other yogurt, sugary stuff, she had put down 4 different things and about twice a day. So her points category was 2 in the top one. For solid and sticky, she had all 5 filled out, and she eats about 2 a day of those, so the point category was 4. And then for the slow dissolving, she just had breath mints and once a day, which is just 3. So total score of 9 for moderate risk. So we're just gonna go over what to do and how to eat and snack and determine your knowledge on caries and dental decay, and then we'll go from there on how to improve that. So after when I saw you in clinic, your medical and dental history, there was nothing really in your medical history. You don't take any medications, you don't have any diseases that need to be mentioned or anything like that. The only thing that we did notice, that we talked about too, is that you had lost your insurance, so you hadn't gone for about a year to the dentist. So that plays a toll on it also. But there was nothing in your personal history. I know you're really busy with like work, school, other work, and taking care of your dog and stuff, so you're kind of on the go all the time. And I know that you do like frequent snacking just to like get through the day or grab whatever's there. So we'll talk about that also. And then I had you fill out the counseling patient survey, and you said that you have some understanding of what dental decay is, so we'll talk about that. And then how dental decay is formed, you also had some understanding. And then how does nutrition affect your dental decay, some understanding. And then same thing where the systemic health affects dental decay, you had some understanding, and that you wanted to get more information on how to prevent it. So the first one, tell me what you know about dental decay or a cavity.
That it can be created from bad dental habits, foods you eat, lifestyle choices.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. So basically, dental decay comes down to like a really simple formula. There's bacteria plus carbohydrates that you eat and the sugar that you eat, and the bacteria basically use those as a food source. So when that happens, acid is produced, and when that acid is just sitting on your teeth, that forms the decay that's in your mouth. So when you brush and floss and get all of that stuff, if you disrupt it, that takes it away, and then it's not sitting on your teeth, and you're preventing the decay from happening. So depends on your food choices, like you said, so that's correct. How frequently you eat them, and what types that you're eating, because there's different types. There's there's like different sugars that you can eat. Some are good and some are bad, some are worse, some are better. So we'll talk about that also. So the next one, I already talked about it kind of, so how dental decay is formed. So I told you that it's when the acid is sitting on your teeth and then you don't get it away. And that's why fluoride is so important, because your mouth is basically in a constant state of like demineralizing and remineralizing. So that's why you have to take into account about how frequently you're eating snacks and stuff. So if you're eating something really sugary or lots of carbohydrates, and then let's say the pH in your mouth drops to like 5.5, which is pretty acidic, so that's when the demineralization is occurring. You want to wait more than 20 minutes before you have another snack or something that's sugary or carbohydrate-y, because your mouth doesn't have enough time to go back from the 5.5 to the neutral side of your mouth, because when it's neutral, that's when it's remineralizing. Okay. And that's why fluoride is so important, because it has the calcium and the phosphorus, and that helps remineralize your teeth. So you just want to give your mouth time to like heal itself back up. And it's also good to not brush your teeth after you eat something acidic, because you want let your mouth like take its natural course, because you'll wipe away the spots that are demineralizing, and it doesn't even have a chance to remineralize yet. So that's just something to consider if you drink like a pop or something. It's actually just better to wait than to brush it away. And then how do you think your nutrition affects your dental decay?
Like my eating habits personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I have a lot of coffee and sugary drinks, I can definitely feel like the film that kind of builds up on the teeth. Yeah. Like I'm like excited to brush it.
Yeah, you can definitely get like the feeling of like it feels kind of disgusting like on your teeth, and you want to wipe that away. But like we talked about earlier, like I said about drinking the pop and then like waiting. It's also a good. I don't know. I hate this. Okay. So we figured out what your understanding is, and then how do you think your systemic, like, let's say you had like diabetes or like arthritis or something, like how do you think that affects getting like dental decay?
I think whenever I like am feeling sick, or like when I have like skin problems, I have eczema. When I'm like eating badly, it all kind of goes in together, and I can feel it in my teeth. Like everything's just like against me.
Yeah, but it all has to do with your immune system also. But like you said, if you have eczema, like your immune system's down. If you have like open sores or on your body, that's like an access for bacteria, so your immune system's going to be down, or a virus or something. You want to keep all your tissues healthy, and that starts with the mouth too. So if bacteria gets in there, your immune system is down. It all correlates, and if you're deficient in certain vitamins or anything like that, especially vitamin D, because that really helps with the absorption of calcium and phosphorus, and that's what your teeth are made of mostly. You don't want to be deficient in that, and then you can't, your teeth can't remineralize. Also, a lot of oral medications that people take have to do with, you get gingival enlargement. It's really hard for people to brush. Things like arthritis makes it really hard for people to keep their oral cavity clean. So we have to take that into account also. So if ever you needed to know something like that also. So we talked about that, and we talked about what you knew. And we talked about the caries formation, how it happens. And then we talked about the frequent snacking. So like when you're going from like work to school or whatever to your next job, it's better just to, keep your meals, your main meals, instead of just frequently snacking, or keep it something that's like not very sugary or with a lot of carbohydrates, because it really doesn't have to do with the amount that you're eating. So like let's say you eat a whole bag of Cheetos in one sitting, that's better than like eating a whole bag of Cheetos throughout the day. It's just the frequency that it's like being in your mouth instead of just like all at once and then it's gone. So you just want to keep that in mind also when you're like snacking during the day. If like you eat part of a Snickers bar and you're like, I'm going to save this for later, but really it's just better for you if you just eat it in one sitting and have it be done with. So we talked about, sugary things and how the frequency affects it. It's also better if you are so inclined to have sugar to have it in liquid form, so like a pop or something. Not to say that it's good for you, but it's better than eating something like a solid sugar, like a cake or something, just because the liquid will get out of your oral cavity faster, and it's not just sitting. And then that brings us to another topic of like retentive versus non-retentive. Retentive just means it stays in your mouth longer. So that'll be something like crackers, cookies, stuff that's just going to like stick in your teeth and be there for a long time. So you want to stick to things that are going to like wash out. Like even a lollipop would be better than eating like a lot of cookies or crackers or something like that. Just because it'll get out faster.
Out of the system, yeah.
So not all sugars are the same and not all carbs are the same, but it's just, you want something that's going to flush out faster. And it's also really good to eat crunchy things because it's going to produce saliva in your mouth, and saliva kind of just is like your natural way of like washing away everything. So
Okay, cool.
That's something to think about too. Some other pointers too. Some really good if you're going to eat a lot of sugar, it's actually good to eat cheese afterwards. And another good thing is to eat fats and proteins because it kind of eat it before you eat sugar because that'll put like a protective layer on your teeth. So that's something to think about. Dairy products that are rich in calcium and phosphorus because, like I said, those are the minerals of your teeth and you want to have that. Eating protein also elevates your saliva, so it'll help bring your pH of your mouth back to normal, so back to that remineralization stage instead of demineralization. Like I said, you eat the crunchy food, and that all ties in together. So we talked about how sugared snacks affects caries formation. The liquid's better, non-retentive is better. And then the timing of snacks also, like I said, don't just like snack in between meals, and don't do it like frequently, like just do it all at once if you're going to do it. And then we talked about the oral and systemic health, how medications affect it, how your healthy immune system affects it, how vitamin deficiencies affect it. So you have to take those into consideration also. And then we did your plaque score, which is 36%, which is pretty high. And you're bumped up to moderate risk also because you have had caries in the past. That's why you have all the fillings in your mouth. So that just puts you at a higher risk already. You're like prone to getting cavities. And some people are. I am also, even though I try to eat pretty healthy, but sometimes it's your genes also. And my teeth particularly have lots of pits and fissures, lots of places for bacteria to just go in and hide. And then some people, if they have restorations like you do or I do, sometimes there'll be like a bad angle on it and they'll get caught in there and you can't, even if you floss or it's not your fault, sometimes they just can't get it out. And then another thing is I know you drink a lot of bottled water, so you're not getting like the systemic fluoride that's put in, our tap water. So that's good too if you want to add that to something you want to do, just drink tap water instead of bottled water all the time. I know it's hard because you're on the go all the time, but get a cute water bottle, it'll make you drink. And then like we talked about earlier, another reason that you're at risk more is just because you had to for a while there were infrequent visits to the dentist just because, stuff happens and you lost your insurance and it's really expensive to get your teeth cleaned, but now we're back on track, and then we'll keep you on track and go from there. So we'll just give you some recommendations now of how to maintain it and bring that plaque score down a little bit. So one thing, let me grab my recommendation. So when you came to clinic, we talked about using what's called the Stillman's method. So that's the one where I showed you, and you put your toothbrush at a 45-degree angle in your mouth. You put half of the bristles on your gums and half of the bristles on your tooth, and you want to really get into that sulcus also, so that you're cleaning it out, because that's where bacteria likes to hide, right in that little sulcus. It's perfect for them to just sit and be undisturbed. So we're going to recommend that. So, and then if you want to, or if you have the means to do, I can't remember if you have an electric toothbrush or not. You do? Okay, so that's perfect. Because a lot of the pink I see in your mouth is also it's between your teeth. So that's where flossing comes in. I know. But I'll give you a couple of different recommendations. So for flossing, we showed you how to do it. Remember, we do the C-shaped around each crown of the tooth. And then you want to get a little bit into the sulcus where the gum starts. Like I said, the same thing with the brushing. That's where bacteria is going to hide, and that's where it's going to sit, because it's perfect place for them to sit because nothing's going in between your teeth. So I'm just going to write the C-shaped flossing. With, you might like glide better just because it fits easier between your teeth. I know you have some open contacts and you have some tight contacts, and it's perfect for the really tight ones because it slips in there really well. So I'll write with glide. And then for toothbrush, you already have an electric, but that's what I would recommend. And then which one did you have Oral-B or did you have a Sonicare?
I'm not sure. I think it's an Oral-B.
Does it have like a round brush head? Okay, so that's Oral-B. So that's that one. Instead of like 2 teeth at a time, you just do like each individual tooth by itself. And then, like I said before, try to start with one side of the mouth and just keep a routine so that you don't miss any parts of the mouth, because it just makes it easier. And there's actually an app with Oral-B that will tell you like, hey, you missed this spot on you're continually missing this spot in your mouth, and it'll like show up pink like where you need to go more. And then it's timed also, like there should be 4 little buzzes that go off every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds means you're like, there's 1 quadrant, 2 quadrant, 3 quadrant, 4 quadrant. That's just what that means. It's like guiding you on how to brush your teeth. So electric toothbrush, that's what you have. And then to get extra fluoride, I would use a fluoridated toothpaste. So I think I gave you some Sensodyne last time, because you also have a lot of tooth sensitivity, and that's really good for sensitivity. And I know we did varnish at our last appointment. Did that help you at all? Good. So I would do that when you come back for your appointments every 4 to 6 months. We'll do varnish every single time because it'll just get better and better from there. And then if you add the fluoridated toothpaste, and then if you add the tap water also, it'll all come together. So toothpaste, Sensodyne, and I know you like to have your teeth white, but they do make a Sensodyne with whitening agents in it also, and it's just not going to make, because usually the whitening is what makes your teeth really sensitive also. There's a couple different ones by Sensodyne. For whitening, there's True White, and then there's another one just like whitening.
Okay, cool.
And then another way to get some more fluoride is mouth rinse. So Act is like the number 1 to do that for. So I would recommend an Act, and they make a few different kinds. They are all anti-cavity, so any of them would be great. It just, depends on what flavor you like or something like that. So I'll recommend Act for you. And then fluoride, we said when you come back for your visits, we'll do a varnish. And then for an interdental aid, since you have a couple of contacts that are open more, there's a thing, it's called soft picks. I put in your bag for you last time. And that's basically just these tiny little rubber tips that act as like dental floss, but they can fit through bigger contacts like you have. Instead of, dental floss is kind of, there's nothing to push it into. So those are really nice for on the go too. If you go to a restaurant or something, you got something stuck in your teeth, instead of using a toothpick, these work really well. And then nutrition, like I said, just try not to snack frequently, and if you do, make it something that's carbs free or sugar free, or just a healthier type of sugar, like a fruit or something. But and if you're gonna do it, eat it in one sitting. Just try to eat it quickly, and not just like a span of the day. Like, don't eat a Sour Patch Kids bag throughout the whole day, because then you're constantly just having that sugar on your teeth for the entire day. So for nutrition, I'm going to say cut down frequency. Cut down the frequency of snacks. Maybe change the snacks. try to keep your sugars liquid if at all possible, and not so much like if you're really craving something like maybe like a milkshake or something that you'll eat quickly instead of, you know, something like the Sour Patch Kids. And then you didn't have any dry mouth, and you don't smoke, so we don't have to talk about those. So I'll make a copy of this. We did that. And then did you have any other questions that I could answer for you about your nutrition, or what else you can do to help prevent any dental decay?
No, you're super informative.
Okay, great. So I'm going to have you fill out this, and then if any questions arise while you're filling this out, just let me know.
Is it all the same? Should I fill it out the same? Should I say I have a full understanding?
Whatever you feel, however you feel you're... Thank you. All right, perfect. So no more specific questions, though, that you have? Okay. No. All right, well, do you feel like you're more...
Yes, I'm definitely
informed
more
on
informed.
it and feel better about like how to
prevent
it?
Definitely.
Okay. All right, perfect.
I'm
Thank you.
excited to try.